let us know that irrespective of the stage that we are in, what are the key components that one needs to look at? Scaling, right? Scaling can mean different thing, different to different stage startups. So
yeah. So yeah, what is your definition of scale?
So it mostly has to be with revenue growth. That becomes a key thing. And the second one is the product capability. Because we are a product company, the product usability and the users on the platform is what we also consider that, we're scaling. There are more users within the same customer may be using it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, got it. So, all right, good. Anyone else?
So if I may add, Naga, to me, scaling would mean two specific things. One is your product should be able to scale up to multiple times of customer without any customization request or requirement from your side. Automatically, it should be able to scale up. And secondly, you should be able to reach those customers. So today, if my target group is of 100 million, I'm reaching 1 million. How do I reach 100 million? And which should be able to cover within my revenue expectation, and that is one of the scaling aspect which we are looking at.
Okay, yeah, that's same point, right? Whether your capability one and your revenue increase. Okay, I think see, just one short answer is that more revenue is great, because if you have great capability, build 100 people team, but you don't have revenue, what are you going to do? You'll keep beautifying the product, right? So when we ran a software company, we used to call putting makeup on grandma, right? So you just have a big team of people just keep on twiddling about the product. But what is more important is that how many people are using it, yeah? So I think that's focus should be around pushing the number up. And I always feel that if the revenue picks up, I'm sure you have enough power to push the product, whatever needs to be done. But the other way around is tough. You have an amazing product. Sorry, we don't have a customer. That's not a place anybody want to be, right? Okay, go ahead.
So my question is, Naga, how somebody or a company should decide whether they should scaling up in terms of horizontal scaling or a vertical scaling. So because horizontal scaling means we need to explore more market to scale up, or we need to get into in depth of something and define more scaling there. So that is the somewhere a confusion as a startup we always been into.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Very good question. Yes, next, anyone?
Naga, Srikanth here. How do we convince the investors, Naga? See, we have been beating competition, heavily funded competition, left, right, center, but the investors are not getting convinced. How do we do that?
Okay, sure. I think what sector you are in?
Logistics platform as a service.
Okay, so you are like that Rivigo kind of.
No, Rivigo is a service provider. We are a service provisioning company.
Aggregator. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, sounds good.
Srikanth, on a lighter note, why don't you invite them on the session so we will all vouch for you, and then we'll say expect.
Thanks for that, man. So, because Naga is a farmer of the startup, so I just thought, definitely his inputs would help.
We'll do. That's very good question. We will demystify something around funding. Yeah.
Yes.
What else? So do you believe, Srikanth, if you have, say, money, I think that's all we need, we can scale up?
For me, as of now, yes, that's priority high.
How many people feel that? Hey, just cut down this 45 minutes of GAN. Just write me all check to everyone. We will know what, how do you want to scale up? So how many feel like that? So why do we need to attend this boring session by this guy, And just give me a check, I'm out. And I'll show the scale next 12 months.
Show hands, guys. You can show hands.
Yeah. It's a very shy team, huh? Okay.
Okay. So just to kind of put that into context, I think short-term scaling will not be a challenge. It's about the mess that you might create doing that, right? And that's what we're keen on avoiding. And that's why I think we'd love to hear more from you on that.
Sure. No, the question on the money part, right?
So I think given
that, just cut it. Why do we need 45? What someone mentioned, Avinash, right? So let's have a session by all the investors. You all vouch for each other. Just get a check and go. and say, don't give any gyan here. You know how to do this. Just give me the money.
Well,
Yeah.
I think given
So I'll go. So I have,
No, just
so we
show
have,
of hands. He's just asking how many of you all believe
Money.
that if you have money, you don't need anything else. Just a show of hands.
Yeah. Wow.
till Series B.
Series B.
Clearly.
Series B. What? Ajo? How do you call you? Yeah.
Aljo.
Aljo. Yeah. So I think our model's good enough. We've got everything in place, and that's what I mentioned earlier. So I don't know what sort of mess we'd create if we don't put the right
No, we'll
constructs
come
in
to the mess later. But
yeah, correct. But
you
getting
money man, or are you seriously looking at let's learn something today?
No, so clearly looking at learning something, because it's a completely different ball game, 0 to 1, and most of us have seen probably a 10 to 100.
Not read all the books that you've read. We don't want jargons. Just right, because I have an IMB background. I'm not going through any jargon. Right?
Sure.
You won't list all the books you've read, 0 to 1.
No, I haven't read any of those, sir. Candidly.
Somebody told you this term, right? Yeah. So that
Of
means
course.
that somebody write a book that everybody talks about it. Right? Let's worry about it. Yeah. Okay. What is next?
so we are in the scaling process, and so some of like us, even if we assume that there is all the money available to scale, there are a few things that we feel we need to get right, and because we already see that if we just scale as is, then we will also scale the mess, along with the company, right? So there are 3 or 4 topics on our minds before we put the pedal back on scaling.
Yeah.
So one of the things is whether this is the right time to optimize pricing. So in early stage, it was all hustle sales, and we would more or less take the pricing that the enterprise is ready to pay, etc.
Knowledge. Awesome. Good. Go ahead. Yeah.
So
rest of the session. Yeah. He got it. Okay. Go ahead. Yeah.
So one of the problems, and I'm saying this to hear from you on, are there any ways to think about this or organize my thought process around these problems or issues?
Right.
So one of the things is on pricing. So initial hustle-based customer sales, it was important to just get all the logos in.
Yeah. So then let's ask this question, Panama. Why do we want to scale in the first place? Yeah, I'm doing 1 crore, 2 crore. I know every employee in my team. Just easy. I think some of you are, I don't know how many of you profitable. I think that word is not there in the Indian startup ecosystem. That's been deleted. Yeah. So, and if you have that word also, you know how to understand that word. Hey, why do we need to scale? Yeah.
Okay. Here I would go first, Naga. I will take this opportunity to go first. We are an agri-tech startup, and social development is one of our goals and one of our main goals. And definitely till now we are break even, making a very slim profit. But we would like to touch. So our one of the biggest starting goals is touching 50 million farmer lives by 2022.
Right.
So this is what we mean by scaling up, and we are sure that we will be able to arrange money in that process as well.
Yeah. So we have a Gandhi in the room. Yeah. So we worry about farmers, and farmers' life is the goal. See, I'm asking some of these hard questions because you all have the answers. What do you want to do? And Shubhankar, you need to maybe look at, go stand in front of the mirror, probably later, and then see if that answer convinces you. Yeah.
So Naga, I have a different approach to this whole thing. I think for me, scaling is all about able to solve the problem deeper, and especially if your problem is large and big.
Sure. You can become a politician, yeah. Become a next PM. Solve all the problems of India, no?
Well, if I could solve the problem I am right now, I think there's a lot of scope for all of us as a planet.
No, there are many political parties recruiting people. I'm sure they would need somebody like Madhusudan to strengthen,
Sure, if you can get me.
See, for the fun side of it, all the things I'm just telling you is for you to get the answers, clarity, right? Otherwise, we just go with what someone is telling and may not be applicable to you, but because we need to be politically correct and using the term 0 to 1, all the things. So, we get carried away sometimes. So this is to about bring back and see that who we are truly and why are we in the journey. And this word scale, what does it mean to you? Do you really believe in it? Or your friend, he got 3 arrear in college and he's selling idli now, raised $5 million, you lost sleep yesterday. Yeah. Or do you really want, as Shubhakam said, I want farmer is my goal. Yeah. I don't get sleep until I double the farmer's income, right? So like that, is there a drive that's stronger that you are in this journey? Yeah. So that's why this question is good. So anyone else that why do you scale? Yeah, Viren.
Scaling probably is somewhere I would look into that, because what I feel right now that you continuously you need to grow, increase your knowledge, increase your capacity, upgrade your skills, because right now, for example, we're reaching to 1.5 lakhs, that we continuously maintain it. If we really want to grow and scale up to at least, for example, 1 CR in a month, we need to scale internally the capacity, the skills, the knowledge set, and then if we scale these things automatically, I think we'll scale up the revenue.
Okay, got it. So for you, the scale is from the revenue perspective. Yeah, is that right?
Not exactly. The scale means somewhere internally we are growing and we are
final
gaining
outcome
more.
is the revenue, right? That's the indicator you're saying. Is that right or no?
Partially right.
Partially right. Okay, got it. Anyone else? Yeah. Okay, good. See,
so from
yeah,
sorry about that. Yeah. From our standpoint, I think we've unlocked enough that we can execute on, right? So while we do that, we have to put our foot cautiously to unlock it. But largely, the impact that we've had right now is we've impacted about potentially 3,000 borrowers, right, through the various anchor relationships.
Yeah.
That doesn't even touch a small portion of the opportunity or the need in the country.
Understood.
And unless we scale, an SME will not get access to unsecured capital, right? An SME will always have to hypothecate his house, his property, or his precious cash in bank to get money. So I think us being able to scale is the need of the hour.
Sure. Yeah. So debt is everybody talks about. We don't have solution yet. You're right. Good. So how many of you are targeting a global market beyond India? Just raise a hand. Or you can use that emoticon or whatever. Yeah. Everybody. Oh. Okay. How many are? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All of you are almost, okay, 6. So you're beyond India, global. Okay. All right. And so one of the thing what I want to talk about, I think 6 are out of 20, right? So 19, you're looking at the global market. And so number one thing is when we're talking about this point on scale and why am I doing this, whether I want to be solving world's problem, feel good about it, or I have no idea how I got in, but there's no way out, right? Or I hated my boss, I walked out, I just came into this, something somehow happened. So I'm doing some revenue, don't know what's going to happen. So that is something you might want to look at. The drive, right? Why are you in this room? Why are you doing this for? So if that is there, I'm sure you are able to work towards a little more deeper in your thought process. Because I call there are 2 kind of entrepreneurs, right? There is like lifestyle. So somebody see that I see a problem, it happened to me or in my family, or I read somewhere that, what is the startup system? These guys are raising millions of dollars, selling a t-shirt, right? So why can't I do that? And, I get the same thing from the investor side. There is one person called me and said, you want to become an angel investor. I said, yeah, in our network, you have to invest around 25 lakhs in 2 years. He said, no problem. I'll have my house sold, right? I said, are you stupid? No, you want to sell your house and invest. So it's a very high risk investment, and don't do that. If you have a disposable income and if you don't sleep, if you don't lose sleep, if you lose all the money that you invested, then you come here, right? So next week he brought his wife and said, please tell that to her. You know, she reads all the newspaper and saying somebody raised, got 100x, 200x. And she thinks that what am I doing sitting a code for, some IT company, I should become an angel investor, right? So like that same thing from the entrepreneurial perspective, that why I've become is something need to be very strong. Otherwise, every small challenge that you're going to find, you'd find who to blame, right? Whether it is country or we are going to, blame something else. There is no capital, there is no talent, all kind of things. So people will say that, okay, I'm not in Bangalore, that's why I'm not scaling, right? You'll find all kind of excuses. This is a beautiful country with, $3 trillion economy, right? With 1.3 billion. Every piece of the land in the country that people are able to, survive, doing amazingly well, right? So I have an NGO in Madurai, Native Lead Foundation. I have 250 angels with me. And there's a 10th failed person in Madurai running a 300 crore company. In Madurai, we said no English, no PowerPoint, no Steve Jobs picture, right? So then the guy in Madurai will think I have to go to Harvard and drop out to become Steve Jobs. So we'll put this guy who failed 10th standard, how he's running a 300 crore business sitting in Madurai, right? And if you go to Coimbatore, there are 1,500 crore business, and he says, what is VC? Yeah. So this is the reality of India. And there is quite a lot of people have no clue what is equity investing and doing amazingly well, right? One of the company from Coimbatore, it's valued $1 billion in the market cap. Hardly you see anything written about them. He's a first generation entrepreneur from a village, right? So we celebrate these people and we tell the entrepreneur that he did that from Madurai, he did that from Coimbatore. You can't do that. You don't have to pack up your bags and go to Bangalore and, as if you're going to join Bollywood, you got to go to Mumbai, right? So similarly, people startup feel that if I want to be something, I need to be in Bangalore. So this is a fantastic place. It is about what problem you're solving is very important. Doesn't matter where you are, what degree you have, what talent you have, what skill you have, how much money you have. None of those matters because all of them adds a small piece of it. Right? That's why I asked the question about the money part. The moment people see us a tag as me as an investor, and the entire dialogue goes around the investor. And we put too much importance to investor in the Indian market. We forgot who is the important person in the entire startup ecosystem is the customer, right? If you know your customer very well and what a pain point you're solving for your customer, that's all matters in entrepreneurship. Because she has a problem, you have a solution, and you give the solution to her, not your mom. She will buy anything you sell. She's happy and she's willing to pay you money, right? That's your business. That's entrepreneurship. Whether you're selling, e-commerce, AI, or sending rockets to the moon, all of that come into the same thing. This is the fundamentals of business. So then I'm sure no one is giving apps for free. And I have a different story on the free apps, right? So I have people coming and say, I have a fantastic product. It's free downloads. I need money for marketing. I said, your product is free, right? Why nobody's downloading it? Right? We have a policy in India, right? If you give a free, even we drink phenyl. Yeah. So your app is worse than phenyl that you're giving away free, nobody wants it. And you want marketing guys to push your app. I said, stand in a road and give away cycles. Would anybody say no? So what is the value of your product is important, right? What is the pain point it's solving for the customer? So we come from the other side that, okay, I know technology, I developed an app. Now let me figure out where do I put in, right? Then we are searching for problems to solve. I think many of you are in pre-revenue, some of you are in revenue. So back again, whoever you are, right? Or whatever stage you are in, number one focus in any business is the customer. Do not take the eye off it. You have to know the person of your customer. Who is this customer? Why she's buying from me? What is she's not happy about? What part she's happy about? Where can I find millions of her? That's the part, right? If you're spending more time around that, that gives you a lot of information about how do you take your company forward, right? that the customer you have and she is very happy, but only 100 of them, then you need to think about that. Okay, so am I happy solving 100 people's problem, or do you want to go ahead, do million? Then the coming back to the point scale, right? The success today depends on number one, focus on revenue, right? How big the company is based on the revenue that you are looking at. And if you're scaling very fast, the bottom line is being, ignored by many people, right? So that's why we have the largest nonprofit in the country is Flipkart today. So that's the company raised almost all the money possible in the world, are possible in India. That's still a nonprofit, but how they're still doing it because, they're believing that I can go hard and keep selling and increase the revenue. So this model of, working on the top line, not worrying about the bottom line is the US model. If you look at US, every industry, you'll have two players. You have a Pepsi and Coke, right? You have a Google, Android, and iOS, two people, right? You have hardly maybe two airlines competing. So they create this model that you have a choice between these two people and you don't have a choice to go to anyone else. And these guys can dictate the market, right? So when they become too much crazy, then US has its antitrust law, right? At some point, they were planning to divide Microsoft because they become too big and they were controlling the entire market. So that's the model does not work in India, right? US is a homogeneous market. And that's the thing that what the modern startups are doing today. There is one Ola and one Uber. Everybody else bought, right? And both are owned by the same guy now today, yeah? So they're applying the same formula of the US, but they don't understand how smart Indians are, right? So we have both the app and look at who is giving better discount. Okay, is Ola giving discount? I will book Ola today. If Uber is better, I'll book Uber. Both of them are expensive. Call my Balaji Travels, right? Or our Atona is there always, yeah? So we are damn smart people. That is why if you look at that, these guys are struggling applying that homogeneous business model where you constrain a customer with no option and they have to go between these two. So why, if you look at any guy, look at Duoyos, now they want to go to Japan. There are 1.3 billion people. And why they're not able to penetrate and scale in India? So that's the thing, the model of, just go worry on top line and go deeper. You will be able to own the space, what we call, right? And then once you own the space, you are the king, you can monopolize. So that doesn't work, probably at least we are a, $3 trillion economy only, yeah? So now coming back to that, the point for you to understand is about, for that, we need to understand who we are in the first place. We have no idea about India at all, right? So what is our GDP? What is India GDP is?
Almost 3 trillion.
Sorry?
3 trillion.
3 trillion, yeah. Okay, what happened yesterday? There was data came out, no? There was economy data came out, right?
Yeah, minus 7.2%.
That's the growth rate. Yeah, what is the final number? Are they saying what is the number is?
Okay.
Yeah, okay. So that's the problem, right? After 20 people, you have one Prakash. Somehow managed to ask the budget that every February the finance minister talks for half a day without drinking water, yeah? So as an entrepreneur, you need to understand who we are in the first place, right? Otherwise, that we get carried away with the data, which is not there in India, right? It is about who speaks louder. That's the data in India, right? Because, and then we get carried away between that, okay, we are that economy, this. So 3 trillion, yes, $3 trillion economy. So what is the per capita income, India's per capita income? That's
I think about $3,000.
$3,000, yeah. Okay. Any other numbers? Anybody?
$1950.
1950. Wow, accurate from Wikipedia, is it? Okay. Awesome.
Yeah, roughly.
Someone else?
$2,000.
Any final number? You want to call a friend?
$2,000.
2000. Awesome. See, look at that. We're very good. We don't have data, huh? So we all have assumption and we think this is what it is. So from $3,000 to $1,900, right? Yesterday, the data came as we have per capita income reduced to 95,000 rupees, right? So if you are making 1 lakh more, right? 1 rupee more than 1 lakh rupees in this country, you are rich. So good or bad? 1 lakh a year. Yeah. So good or bad? Yeah.
Bad.
Bad.
Very bad.
Pathetic. No, we are pathetic. We are a low income country. Bangladesh will become middle income country ahead of us, right?
Yeah.
We always compare with ourselves with China. You know what is China GDP is? We thought we were going to get a check, but this seems to be a economics questions session now. Yeah. So as an entrepreneur, we don't know where do we stand. Right? How are you going to sell your product to who? Where is your target segment? Is the target segment is 95,000 rupees earning, or is earning more? We need to know, right? So China is around $12 trillion, right? Wall Street Journal predicts in 2019 it's going to take 73 years for us to catch up. Right? This is before pandemic. Now we know that we are at 40 years, the bad economy ever. But anyway, we were around $600, $800 20 years back. We tripled in 20 years thanks to some of these policies happened and some innovation which happened. So for that, we have to think a little more different. How do we accelerate? So are we a developing country, developed or underdeveloped country? Huh? Are we developing, developed, underdeveloped?
By definition, we are developing. But I'm sure you have a different view.
No. I'm asking you. You are the entrepreneurs of the world. I mean, India, future. Somebody's going to solve farmers' problem. Somebody's going to solve some other problem. Yeah. So what do you feel about this country? Yeah, developing, good. Yeah, Akshat, awesome. Any other answer, Vimal? You seem puzzled, huh? Huh? Sorry.
Developing.
Ping. Okay, so continuous, right? Ping is the final answer. Yeah, everybody. Okay. So we are all the above, right? So we are developing, developed, and underdeveloped. We are all the above. There's one guy this side living in a $1 billion house, right? The same city, somebody living in a 10 by 10. Husband and wife, children, and their cow lives there. We can't put the cow outside mosquito problem, right? Then you have a middle class trying to figure out where do I belong. Yeah. So this is where on one side we may have a Germany, one side we have an Africa. There is between, I don't know which country that is, right? So this is the reality of this thing. So then who's your customer segment, right? So I mentioned about the number one important piece in your business is the customer, right? So now we need to understand where these three countries, where is my customer is sitting. You have to find out, right? What is your go-to-market strategy? Everybody answers social media. Amazing, right? So every startup in India vowed to make Larry Page and Mark Zuckerberg rich, right? Because anything social media, all the money goes to these two guys, right? They got everything. So they have no other way to think about how can I go to my customers. And coming back to this developing, underdeveloped country, right? So how many people do you think we have a digital access in India? How many people have internet access?
500 million.
500 million. Okay, Akshat. Yeah, any other number?
700 million.
700 million. Awesome. Okay, very nice. Any other number? Okay. Ramya, you want to guess here? Anybody else is sleeping here with the video
Just
off?
today, this was in news coming from Supreme Court because of the digital divide. About more than 1 billion are left out from the vaccination drive. So,
okay.
Yeah, it's less than
yeah.
It is 200 million. Oh no, 700 million.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. Anyone else? Yeah, so it depends, right? I think we are in a startup capital of India, and I have 200 Mbps connectivity. The next 1 hour goes without power cut. That's going to be amazing achievement, right? So this is happening startup capital of India. And what will happen to Dantewada? Yeah. And so this is where that hardly you will have maybe proper connection, internet broadband will be 250 million, right? And India, we are all very good in talks in future tense. We all say in 5 years will be this, in 5 years will be that. And what is today? We have no idea, right? So that is where as an entrepreneur, you need to understand who you are, right? Where are you? And this data is around you. You don't have to go read up, just do a search engine stuff. The data is around you. We are ignorant to see the data. So that's why I ask all my entrepreneurship sessions, especially students, I ask them 2 questions, right? One is about, can you hear the sunrise? Yeah. Can you hear the sunrise? Yeah. No? Yeah. Anybody?
You could by proxy.
Sorry?
You could by proxy. Birds chirping.
Bird chirping, yeah, Akash, yes, excellent, good. You're still connected with nature, yes. So I'm sure the city you have still birds, right? In our place we ate up all, yeah, okay.
There is some construction happening right next to my house.
So he's waking up before
when he starts off, I know it is break of dawn.
Yeah, he wakes up before you, right? Summertime, and they want to finish up early, right? Awesome, good. Right there, right? So this is what, why that is important. And if you just wait for eyesight to tell you sun is up, you're missing out what the other 5 senses are telling you, right? We had that sensitivity, we lost it, right? You take a 5-year-old, give her a toy, and how she look at the toy, right? She explores, explores with all her 6 senses, put it in the mouth, and mom will tell it's not edible. Then she know that, okay, it's not edible product. So that's called childlike curiosity. We were used to look at like this, everything with a childlike curiosity. Now we lost that capability, so we are not able to listen through all our senses. So this data is there. I don't know if you're in Bangalore, you look at the Silk Board Junction, there is a traffic, then you have somebody begging there, then you see a BMW, there is next to that, there could be a Suzuki, there is an Alto, there is a Atlas or Hercules bicycle, a security is on it, right? Next to that, there is a guy on a Decathlon bicycle with all the gears as if he's going to Mars, right? All of that in that one traffic signal, that's data for you. So if you if you are able to hear the sunrise, you'll be able to observe this. We just put the car window up and we are on phone talking to somebody, we are not seeing the data. So that's all matters, right? To be an entrepreneur, how much sensitivity you got. Okay, that's very important for you in all aspects. Understand your customer, your employees, your partners, and you become very sensitive. More problems will be visible to you. Otherwise, you're waiting for the report, the dashboard need to come from my accounts for me to understand what's going on. But if you know the sensitivity, and there are a lot of signals for you. As an entrepreneur, the main ability to you is about pick up the signals ahead, prepare for the surprises, right? If you're able to prepare for the surprises, and you're an amazing entrepreneur, right? You're able to foresee this is going to have a problem, I'm going to have a cash flow problem, I'm going to have this customer dropping out, right? This customer feedback is not good, and it's taking 3 months to close the deal. So all these things, you become sensitive, right? To look at what we are. So that is the number one thing is about looking at, if you are looking at India as a market, you need to understand what India is. And we have a completely data skewness in the country. The data is not proper. Everybody keep talking about it, keep blaming each other that your data is problem, my data problem, but you can see the data in front of you, right? So we have 1 billion telephone connections. I said, that's fantastic, yeah, but 350 million do not have food to eat in the country. 400 million people do not have electricity in the country. How come we can have 1 billion connections? So it's possible. Yeah.
Multiple connections per person.
Absolutely. Right. So in India, we never learned how to say a word no. Right. We do like this. Nobody will understand what you mean. Yeah. So in our culture, right, we have no idea how to say the word no, right? You call somebody, after 10th time, he doesn't pick up, the answer is no. Yeah. And because we don't want to pick up the phone, if I say no, we are not going to leave it, right? How can you say no to me? We're a buddy. I know you for 20 years. So we also don't know how to accept the no. We don't know how to say no. We don't know how to accept the no. So we invented a multi-SIM phone. Yeah. So Rahul Agarwal told me Micromax many years back that when he put a dual SIM, the whole world laughed at. And he said, we are Indians. Yeah, we don't know how to say a word no. We have juggling with 3 phones. This for my in-laws, I don't attend. This phone is for the guy I took money from. This one phone I keep changing. That's where I talk to my friends, right? Because since we don't know how to say no, we're juggling with 3 phones. He said, I put all the SIMs in one phone, helping my customer, right? Helping Indians. So this is where the thing is, right? If you're sensitive enough, you start looking at this, that why am I talking to this customer and how do we pick up the no as an answer, right? And some of you are in IT space, are you talking to the right person? Does he has a budget to buy your product, right? And because everybody in India, they behave like he's the CIO of the company, right? And they'll say, I know CIO, I'm a buddy, your product is awesome. These guys have no clue about what he's talking about. I've seen startup that, okay, this, CIO I'm talking, it's going to sign tomorrow. They were waiting for 1 year and they closed the company. So this is where that, again, coming back is on that sensitivity part, is that how do you know and about our culture and the people and who we are? Then it'll help us to segment, right? Are you part of the 250 million who have internet access, who speak English in India? We don't speak, 1 billion people don't speak English in India. Only 250 million speaks. The entire startup focus, if you're a B2C, this target is 250 million. Who speaks English, who have an internet access, they have some disposable income. There is overcrowded. That's why 85 e-commerce companies started in 2015. All of them received funding. You know the answer, how many survived today? Thanks to Walmart, right? Otherwise, we would have given the e-commerce key to Amazon, and we'll welcome Amazon to the country. Yeah. So this is the reality of it. That's why I asked the question about the money. The money is the only thing, right? If e-commerce, anybody who can spell the word e-commerce got money in 2015, right? So why they did not survive? Because they did not understand who India is, what India is. They were not targeting this tiny market who has internet access, 250 million. You will see that, in my website, many of my discussion last 6-7 years, I tell the word called ignoring the billion. So now I'm glad to get that from Ramya from Supreme Court thing today, right? So this is another amazing opportunity this pandemic has created for everybody. We no longer can hide India's problem. It is right in front of us. That's a good news, right? If you know the problem and you can fix it, right? If you don't know the problem, we are living in some Maya world and we think everybody's hunky-dory. So now we know, wow, there are 2 million people live in the slum. They are our daily wages. They build my house. They take care of my family, my child. And now she's walked back to village because she cannot survive without daily wage in Bangalore, right? Now we realize, wow, the maid, she used to come to my house, lived in the village, and lived in the slum. When Trump came in, we covered our, places that he doesn't see our slum. But BBC broadcasted 1 crore people walking back home, right? We can't hide that. We know that UP has 14,000 people, 1 doctor, right? And a lot of people have been working on solving the problem with telemedicine and stuff like that. That's one of my investment, Neurosnaptic. But now everybody knows what is our situation on healthcare. The 68% of the country lives in the villages where 2% of the doctors are there. Yeah. But so since there are no problems, many entrepreneurs don't know what to solve. They ended up solving, selling idlis and t-shirts, because 95% of Indian Series A, Series B money, especially Series B and above, almost 99% of the Series B and above money comes from abroad, right? There is zero Indian VC can write a $10 million check. Zero. So when the money comes from abroad, these guys don't understand what is happening in Dantewada, right? What is things about per capita income of India? They just look at, okay, what model worked in Silicon Valley? Somebody do that, I'm going to fund it. So this is where that you need to start looking at, is that India is an investor market, right? We have, 40,000 startups with Startup India. Hardly 500, 600 get funded every year. Probably 10, 15 billion. Then most of the big Bs are all going to all the guys, right? Who are raising more and more stuff. So hardly left. So there are 150 angels for 1 startup in US. In India, we are the other way around. Right? We are an overpopulous country. There is competition for everything. 2,000 railway jobs get 2 lakh applications. Just a railway job. Right? So this is the reality of it. So that's why I want to push you back about this investment and what is important in this. If you have a happy customer and she's happy, she's buying you more, she's telling 5 more people, the 5 tells 10, 10 tells more. That is number one. You are scaling, right? When you're scaling, the investor may be, coming and wanting to help you because they want to be part of the story. If you run behind the investor and say, what are the top 10 things the investor look for and hire some deck guy, today there is a business, right? Based on how much money you raise, that guys can build you PowerPoint presentation, beautiful looking PowerPoint presentation. It goes up to 2 lakhs to build a PowerPoint presentation. So many of our investment pitches, we don't even allow the entrepreneur to go to the 3rd slide. If he says that any question, so that's in the 10th slide, that means that it's not in your head. Somebody prepared it for you, right? So this is why I don't use PowerPoint. So then we can have a, have a good discussion. Otherwise, I have to be fiddling about, okay, I need to finish the 40 slides in 20 minutes. Good. So now I'll stop here. Now you know the context where I'm coming from. Now questions.
Thanks, Naga. That was very helpful. This is Raj from Lorry, Logistics Now. And my question was specific to alliances. In the logistics ecosystem, very complex, large problem. And at what stage should a startup think about alliances or partnering with other companies / startups? And what is the best way to approach that?
Yeah. I think the important thing, someone asked this question about vertical and horizontal, right? I think this maybe we can combine that with this. So I tell people the number one thing as a mentor, most of my time spent on helping people to focus. Yeah. So I might have met like thousands of entrepreneurs, but I may not know his name, his company name, but I remember his face and his idea, right? So every time he meets me that, okay, this idea you told me, where are you now? Then that's where you want to go. Why are you here now? Right? Because that's where the mission drift happened. You start the business with some idea and you see a hurdle, you go around it. Then we have this beautiful word called pivot, right? So I tell people your problem is valid. Problem statement is valid. Your solution is original. Never give up. Right? That's where the drive is important. If your drive is stronger and you identify a problem, that problem statement is valid and your solution is original, pivot word need not be there in your history, right? Because you may be ahead of your time, but if both are true, I'm sure you will find a way to come out of it. So that's where the thing focus, right? So you started here, you saw a hurdle, then you went here, then you are somewhere here, right? So you ended up, you are wanting to go to Chennai, but you've taken too many detours, you are ended up in Delhi. And you turn back and say, why am I in Delhi? Because you did not look at where are you going, right? You are just in a day-to-day operation, so you're so bogged down, you never pulled out looking yourself from 20,000 feet. That this is the vision I've started with. What am I doing? Right? Pivot could be the customer segment. Those things, not a problem, right? But the problem that I wanted to solve, where am I? Right? So this is where the focus is important, right? Because in India, I told you, right, we have no idea how to say the word no. We have another trick as well. You go to sell product A. That person will tell you, oh, if you have this product B, I will buy it immediately, right? So the startups will come diligently, start working on product B. Oh, I have a customer, he said he's going to buy this. So this is another thing because we don't know how to say about no. And you push you out next 1 year, you will work on product B, right? You don't have to deal with you. So this is where that you need to be important. So you start here and you'll get diverted in all these places and you ended up having 10 products. So if you are a good salesperson, can sell any product. Bad salesperson will blame on the product. Then you'll end up fine-tuning the product to more again and again and again that you blame that your product is bad, right? and you should be able to understand the pain point, what the problem you're solving, and to who the problem pain point is very strong, and where is this customer is sitting in these 3 countries, right? Then you are able to identify the appropriate customer whose pain that you're solving. And someone mentioned about farmers and all that. So I hear about this many times that I have this product and it's 10 lakhs will cost and none of the farmers could afford. I'm ITC or someone else will be my customer, right? I said, like, none of the corporate guys are committing suicide here. If you want to solve farmers' problem, then why are you selling into multinationals, right? So no, people cannot afford. Again, India story, right? India is a sachet country. We cannot afford a 1 liter shampoo for 200 rupees, but we will buy 1 rupee shampoo for 1 week. Build the business model that can go to the billion. That's where the market is, right? Look at the Tatas and Ambanis, right? They're just in that solid business that where the 1 billion people need to eat every day. They need to live everywhere. That's the target segment they're looking at, right? That's where the market is. If you're able to target the 1 billion, that's where the market is. Yeah. If you're targeting 250 million, it's overcrowded with so many people. So coming back to that question on horizontal, vertical, once you become Tata, you can have 150 companies. Today, you have 1 brain and 24 hours. And where is that 24 hours spent on that will make you who you are? And human beings have a myth saying that I can multitask, right? That's not correct. Human brain is not a parallel processing computing. It is a linear, right? So that's the quick test is about the chalk piece thrown at in schools, right? So the guy looking at the crow outside, the teacher asks a question. If she's able to multitask, you should be able to answer the teacher, right? Problem. Or grown-ups, yeah, watch a video and drive a car, right? We can see whether we can multitask. So people do that, right? I say, I watch video, I know, right? What happened, how many accidents happens with that, correct? So this is what, again, that 24 hours and 1 brain. So focus, yeah, for Laurie, right? Start looking at what is your core competence, right? What is one thing you're damn good at? I always say that you got to be a one-trick pony. You got to be the world best in that trick. Everything else, partner, right? So that way you're creating more partner. Today what happened that you go to a customer and you say, okay, if you have product B, I will buy you, and say, okay, here's my partner who will give you a product B. Yeah. So what have we done? We give some opportunity for your partner to sell. So when you appreciate your partners, you won't compete with your partner, right? So partnership means win-win. So today what happened, most of the time, the partnership means that when can I eat him? If you have that attitude, and partner will know he's a very smart person, and he will try to eat you before you eat him. That is why the focus is important. This is that area I am good at, right? Everything else, I'm going to have partner network to help me out. Then everybody knows that your intent, and they will help you to grow, you help them to grow. And you are going deeper on one product that you are very good at, that everybody in the whole world need to come to you. Yeah. So I'll give you one small example on, probably I'll give you one tech example, right? This company called Unifor. I don't know if you've heard of it. So this company works on speech recognition, right? India has 675 languages. And hardly we have, script for many of them. So that's the problem is solving. 1 billion people out of, people are looking at English speaking. So 1 billion people don't speak English. 400 years of brainwash, only 250 million speaks English. It's not going to happen tomorrow, right? Look at whatever the English learning school, this and that, it's not going to happen 20 years, from now, whether we'll be able to do that. So that's a problem we are solving. So the 1 billion people out of digital revolution. So how do we bring them? Only chance I have is recognize their voice and do it. So he's not a techie. He went to IIT Chennai, told this problem. Junjunwala liked the idea. They started developing this technology which can recognize 25 Indian languages in 100 dialects. Right? You walk in every side 50 kilometers, You have a different accent, even different language, different food, different climate, different dress. That's India. So he was looking at solving the problem, right? So he was rejected by, so this Tamil Nadu government was calling 40 lakh farmer using this technology every day, giving weather forecast in Tamil, right? The tribal women in Gujarat can take her 500 rupees feature phone, do entire bank transaction using her voice. Her voice is her password, right? He was rejected by 25 investors. When I met him, he was a 5-year-old company. And 25 investors said, your product is wrong and it's not going to scale up now. He never gave up. So I said, I like your perseverance. I'm going to give you money. So next year, he was recognized by Time magazine that 13 millionaires were changing the world. Only one person from Umesh from India, bringing billion people into digital revolution. MIT saw that. John Chambers saw that. John Chambers wrote a $10 million check to me of Cisco chairman. Yeah. So now he took him to US and telling in Silicon Valley, he's the future. Speech recognition, right? Who's the competition? Google, Apple, Microsoft. You name all these guys are competition speech recognition. Cisco chairman is betting a Chennai-based company. And he said he's the future. Why? In that 5 years, he was waiting for people not to invest and he was struggling. He was listening to 25,000 hours of Indian voice every day. That made his technology superior in the world. Hey, look at Google from East Coast to West Coast, there are only 3 accents, right? Today he has hundreds of languages, hundreds of dialects you can recognize. So that made him at 98% accuracy, the problem that he was solving. He's able to compete with $9 billion R&D budget of Microsoft, right? And Google's money pouring in this stuff. Amazon is pouring money and Apple is pouring money. And he raised last week $140 million. Yeah. A guy rejected by 25 investors. And he got first angel investment when the company was 5-year-old. According to Startup India, he's not a startup. Yeah. But he never believed in that his idea is bad because problem statement is very solid. And the solution is original. He's not copying Ola or Uber, right? If you copy Uber and Uber sells idli, you have to sell idli. Doesn't matter what is the link between cab and idli. I copied him, yeah, I have to do the same thing, right? What he's doing. So this is what you have to think in terms of, there is a question about dealing with the big customer, dealing with, somebody coming into my market, the price war, all that stuff. But if you're damn good in your product, you can prove it and go to the customer who understand that. I think that's all you need. But after all these things, the definition of success, you should be the owner of it, not some media, right? Today, the definition of success is how much money you raise, right? It's funny, I got a call last month from one VC, and there is a company incubated at NSR Cell last 7 years back. Said this person approached for funding and he mentioned you as a mentor, and we couldn't find any information about this company on the internet because he never raised money, right? Nobody write about him. Somebody raised 5 lakh rupees and somebody spends 10 lakh rupees about telling I got 5 lakhs, right? Because the investor want to have a PR. They want to brag about what I've invested. This guy will tell everywhere. All the data is there. And it is funny, the VC is asking, we want to understand about founders because there is nobody to validate. This person, he started when he was 19. He was a student. Today, he has 150 employees, 1.5 crore a month revenue, profitable. Right? A VC is asking, he's doubtful that why he never raised money. Is anything wrong? Right? This is the stupidity that we have in this country, right? So if you never raise money means that you have something wrong. So I've told, I'm the culprit. I told them that if you don't need money, why do you need to raise money? So even now I told them that don't raise money, prove the world that you can do these things without money. They said, no, we want to see what this VC funding is. They just want to do for fun. Even if you don't fund, we will double his revenue next year, right? It's up to you whether you want to give him money or not. So this is the problem in this country, right? Then everybody that think that money is the number one thing. If they have the money, I'm sure everything will be there. That's why there's too much focus on investment. And in India, we don't talk about negative, right? We're all positive people. We have talked about zero failures in any media, right? Have you seen anybody first page that, oh, wow, this company shut down today? Yes, 1 million likes. This guy will disappear from LinkedIn, right? He will appear 2 years after I'm a product manager in Microsoft. Yeah. So we don't celebrate failure. And then we feel that only possible, stories comes that somebody raising money, then everybody thinks all I have to do is raise money. Nothing else is required. Right? Customer is not required. You can buy the customer. That is a nice word for it, right? Buying the customer is called growth hacking. I don't understand the term at all. How can you hack the growth, right? That's what. So you spend on AdWords. And why many of these companies in India have spelling mistake, right? Google AdWords is expensive. So the word you have, nobody else wanted, and it's cheap. So now the social media defines what kind of company you want. So coming back is just razor sharp focus on the customer, right? What problem you're solving and where is this customer? And have a perseverance to go at it. Focus. Very deeper focus on one thing you're damn good at. Once you become Tata, you can go buy, Big Basket or go buy Chorus Steel from US. You can do all those things, right? But not today. It's one problem. Go deeper, be the world's best. Yep. So any question now? And how's time? Yeah.
Naga,
yeah.
Just one thing I just wanted to know, since as I already said, Shubhankar here from InCube, we are into agri-tech. We are our target market is the FPOs and the farmers. So we are actually struggling to reach them because social media marketing does not work for us. They are not the kind of people who will get swayed by social media much. So here is something of a very important and critical thing for us: how to reach them quickly, how to reach them fast, and what should be the mode, because we don't have money to promote on any other media like television, radio, etc.
You are giving money, right? You provide financing. Yeah.
No. So we are giving the agri-tech platform, which is for the farm credit management, the farmer decision support system, to the FPOs so that they can help the farmers.
Yeah, I think number one in India in reaching out the more number of people is about local partnership, right? In the villages, especially, you need to build a network or leverage some networks already there, which could be the village level entrepreneur that we call it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and many NGOs are on the ground. Look at and see how do we leverage. But the number one thing, the word tech. So this agri tech, food tech, and all that stuff, I just see there is some tech, right? There's no agri, right? So you need to start looking from the farmer perspective that what is the pain point I'm solving. So instead of I'm an agri tech platform, you need to say that what pain point you're solving for the farm. They don't care whether what tech you have. You can have space tech. They have no clue what that is, right? Are you solving my problem? Will my product get a good price? Can I get my urea on time? Are you going to help me? And the entire village want to harvest on the same day. If I wait for one day, my harvest is going to be bad. Can you help me, finding the labor, and the tools? Like this, there are a lot of pain points. You have to see that how you're solving the pain point. So we have all these words are all coined by, somebody in the media, someone else, I don't know. Every day there is some tech coming, then they call some zoo animals from your unicorn to cockroach to this. So either we are zoo or you're tech of everything, right? So in the name thing, nobody understands who you are, right? And what is this definition of agri-tech? I have no idea. I tell people that I know, all the agri-tech, there's only tech is there. Where is agri? Please tell me, right? So my definition of agri is that if you're able to solve farmers' problem, and if you're in agriculture, I have another test for all the agri startup, 99% failure so far, right? What is A2, FL, and C2? Do you know what that is?
Sorry, could you please repeat?
Yeah, what is A2, FL, and C2? It's not an algebra question. Yeah.
No, I don't know.
Yeah. So that is the formula defined by MS Swaminathan to calculate the production cost for a farm. 99% of the agri startups have no idea what it is. They buy an iPhone which sells us 3 times, 4 times the production cost. And they have no idea that what is the production cost of my farmer? What is the P&L of my farmer? How much capability he has to spend? Within that spending power, how can I solve this problem? Right? Am I helping? Yeah.
Yeah. So
this is where about, yeah, go ahead.
So no, I was just trying to say that the points which you were raising, that increasing farmer income, understanding what is the harvesting date, how to arrange the harvesting on a particular same day for a particular village, what is the how we can increase the yield of a particular soil, do a soil mapping. We have done all that in West Bengal for 7.2 million farmers, as I was telling you. But we need to really reach out to other
But
parts
you know
of
that
India. And
sorry, how many million you said?
7.2 million, 72 lakhs.
72 lakh. Okay, that's 7.2 million. That's correct number. So 72 lakh farmer, right? Do you know the P&L of them? That's why I asked about. You don't know about what is A2C2 FL. So you have no idea about their positioning. That's what the first question I started with. India is 3 countries, right? And where is your customer? Which country he is in? For that, you need to understand what his P&L is. If you don't know.
So we don't. I would not be exactly be able to do the P&L of individual ones, but we have increased from 98,000 of their profit per year. They have increased to 2.54 lakhs per year. The overall base I'm talking about. Definitely there will be a range.
Right. If this is true, then why it's not become viral, right? 72 lakh farmer you have.
Absolutely. So that is. That is exactly something I wanted your guidance to make us understand that maybe we are not something doing right.
Because every agri startup I talk, the data does not tally at all. 72 lakh farmer, and what's the revenue? I see that I'm helping 10,000 farmers with marketing. What is your revenue? 20 lakhs. I said shut it down, right? You're not doing any impact. You work with 3 farmer, your revenue 3 crores, then you are making something. Yeah. So the number game, especially people in social space, everybody talks about big number as if they're going to contest to become a prime minister of India, right? Politicians love the numbers, right? This entrepreneur, we should stay away from the number. Number does not make any impact. The revenue makes, right? Whatever it is, I have a startup in native lead. We said no English, no PowerPoint. This guy never went to school. And his egg is, only certified egg in the whole Asia, right? HPCA certified. Google calls him that I want your egg. This guy never went to school. That's about gold standards. One egg is 25 bucks, most expensive egg in the country. And he works with 3 farmers, his revenue is 3 crores. Yeah. So that's the depth you need. You don't need a 72 lakh farmer unless you want to contest for election, right? So 100 farmers, if you say that I'm 50 crore business, you are making a difference, isn't it? So then when you're scaling up this number wise, then you have a problem about reaching out. You cannot analyze the data. There's going to be a lot of duplicates. The numbers will be high, but it doesn't make a bottom line impact for you, for them as well, right? So if you're able to focus and understand, okay, here is some cluster, this sector, here is put the formula, then look at how can we improve his whatever it is, then you're talking. There is FPO and NASIC. So I tell them that any agri startup, I ask them that I want net 10,000 rupee in the pocket of every farmer monthly. Otherwise, you're not helping me. Whether you are helping with tech in inputs or you're helping with marketing, that's not making a bottom line impact. So when I tell that to Vilas Shinde in Nasik, he says, what do you do with 10,000 rupee now? My farmer, I have set a goal 5 lakhs a year. This is a 320 crore business run by a farmer, owned by 6,000 farmers, each making 5 lakhs a year. 320 crore business, Sayadri Farms. They have technology, every top-notch technology they got it, right? Cropin pretty much, built based on what they need was. Yeah. Today, you talk about traceability. He has your own store. He has 30 biotech people sitting there and doing a testing of every crop coming on grapes. Right, 22 countries he's exporting. Right, Dole brand directly, put in the Dole brand packet. It goes to the shop in US direct. It's all done by farmers. Right. So we think that farmers have no clue, they're ignorant. That's what last week I was in some session in IIT. There's one student saying, I have this amazing technology, but my farmers are ignorant, they don't understand. I said, if you call your customer wrong, and how are you going to do business? Right? Because you are an IIT doesn't mean that your technology is going to be useful for him. Technology, we call in academics, right? Invention become innovation when it is commercially successful. Otherwise, it's a trophy sitting in your shelf. Yeah. Yeah, Ramya.
Hi, Naga. Thanks a lot. It is thought-provoking session, definitely. And like you said, definitely I'm seeing this about Indian market, especially even the corporates are into, tagging you along without actually giving you contract. And we are also not able to say no because it is sort of aligned with our goal, our product. But then, like you said, we have a product A, do product B. Even big corporates are saying that. And we also think we may have future, business with them, so we don't lose out. So we also agree to doing that. How to go about this, I'm not sure. I try to bring focus, but then again you get
so the thing is about nothing should be free, right? Especially if you're in B2B, you have to charge very minimum amount so that he gets some budget approval internally. If you do it for free, this guy may not even talking to somebody up there, right? In sales, we used to call that as VIP, right? Very important person in that organization who has a budget control. Any B2B, you have to first understand the person who is talking to whether he has a control on the budget, whether he has money approved for what you are doing to do. Yeah. And you are right. We are overzealous to, somebody saying that they want to talk to me. We just, we're trying to please and get one name, you're going all out. But even if it is 100 rupees, put some money.
Okay.
So that he's going to go, because even 100 rupees, cannot spend on his own. He got to get his boss approved.
Okay.
Then if someone else is involved in the decision making, the boss will beat him up that, why are you wasting this $100? There's 2 Pepsis I can buy, right?
Yeah.
So this is where, you have to do no free pilots.
Right.
And
it's like a 3-month pilot, more than 3 months.
Correct. We say that some minimum, even 100 rupees, I want a token. Yeah.
Okay.
Ensure that you are serious about it.
Okay.
I don't want to waste your time and my time.
That makes sense.
When I ran my IT company, I saw that these guys have been consuming too much Coke. So my admin told me our employee drinking 4 or 5 Coke a day. I said, like, my wife uses Coke to clean toilet. Right? I was wondering, like, how come these guys are drinking this much? If I say that tomorrow I'm going to stop Coke, then they will tell me that management is cutting cost. I said, tomorrow onwards, Coke is 50 paise. All the money I collect, I'm going to donate to an NGO. Right? These guys are IT guys earning $1 lakh a month minimum. My consumption went down 50%.
Yeah.
So India.
Yeah.
Right? Money talks. Even if 50 paise, you will know the true color of that person.
Correct.
Is he willing to even let the 50 paise go? Then you have a pain point you're solving. Okay. That's why nothing should be free. You will spoil people and you won't get a proper feedback, right? Money will teach them, whoever that is.
Correct.
And you get a proper feedback. And you know that, are you wasting time with this person or not? So you have to have that guts saying that,
Correct.
I'm ready to do 3-month pilot, 3,000 rupees at least you give me, right?
Okay.
Just a token to ensure that you are valuing my time. Because I'm a startup doesn't mean that, I'm just an NGO. Yeah.
No, we'll make it as a policy so that it won't be per customer. It's a decision making at every customer. So we'll say this is the policy. We are ready to do it, but this is the charge.
So the other trick you can do with B2B is about what we call as an audit. Like, for example, this IIM Bangalore is managed by Sahas, the waste management, right?
Yeah.
When you go, so Saga is the only first company in the country. You will charge people to manage their waste, right? Where everywhere, every startup will go that here is an app, put your waste, will come and collect it for you. I'll give you a free airtel thing. And she said, nothing doing. You are the culprit. You created the waste. You have to pay me for me to manage. Don't expect any money from me. Why am I telling this? She said, if somebody is coming and buying your waste, ask them, will you buy my soiled sanitary napkin? Will you buy my diaper? Will you buy my sambar bag which half idli in it? The answer is no. That means he's buying something from you which has a value. Then who will manage these non-value items? That's what end up in the streets. The cow end up eating that half idli in the plastic bag, it dies. So this is what she goes and tell. So you pay me, I will manage all your waste. I will tell you exactly how I dispose your waste. You can sleep at night not killing cows, right? And she won't pay any money back to any of these guys. And IMB makes almost a ton a day. They pay almost a rupee a kg to manage. So if you manage then what happens? Her motto is about reduce, reuse, and then recycle. So as a waste management company, more waste is good for me. She said, no, I want you to reduce. Right? That is against the thing. So my motto is reduce. Why? That's why I'm charging you. So now after being charged, right? Otherwise earlier all our students get a Bisleri bottle. Every class, there is a bottle sitting there in your desk. And now they're paying per kg. So now during the admission, you get one stainless steel bottle. You carry your own water, right? So it has to pinch them. So when it pinches that, producer pays. That's the tagline she says. Bad behavior should be punished, not rewarded. So when that thing that even it is reduce the waste, she said, I'm fine. I'm happy that I've changed this custom. She's doing 100 ton a day today in Bangalore. And she does one of my best investments so far. During this pandemic, and she has grown amazingly well. And she said no to two investors who are about to write a $2 million check. He said, you don't understand my values. I don't want your money. So can you be in a position to say no to an investor? Yeah, because you believe in your product and you know that your product is amazing. And it took time for her, but she never, changed. That's what your problem statement is valid. Solution is original. Never give up. Yeah. So she got now, went to China. She's telling China how to manage waste. She be recognized as Global Citizen of the Year, went to UN, New York, telling US how to manage waste, right? Discovery Channel covered how she's bringing technology, right? And in her segregation facility, she has installed robots to segregate. Discovery is doing that, how high-tech waste management is in Bangalore. And she's not techie, but she underlying business principle is that I will ensure the customer pays me. That's an online business. And she made it. Yeah. So now what the business gets, right? So when before even Swachh Bharat, IIM Bangalore was bragging that we are a zero waste campus. That's a PR. RMZ is using that. Here's my sustainability report, telling all the IT companies that you are living in a green building. And this much carbon we saved. That IT company telling their employees that we are living in this building and completely a zero waste campus. So they're using for employee engagement. They're using for admissions. They're using it to get the customer talking. So you're trying to bring the intangible they got out of this. If you play on price, someone asks a question about the price. If you play on a price, there is somebody is going to undercut you with 1 rupee less. You build a business on values. Nobody can stop. Yeah. All right, good. Yeah, let's see how's the time. I think we have a lot of people dropped. I'm sure. How's your time? Yeah, but Anjali.
Yeah. Thank God you didn't call me Wadhwani.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you are not supposed to give your name out, is it?
No, I can. This is that login from. Okay, no, most of them have dropped off because we had, kept it only for 3 o'clock. They were all
I
kind of
didn't check
thank
the
you.
time. Yeah, it's gone. Good. So we'll wrap, or you have more questions? I have no problem. Yeah.
I have actually one last question
Yeah,
because
go.
I work with all these people all the time. One place where I struggle is they always reach a point where, now they need to hire more people to get more business. But they say to get more business and to hire new people, I need to raise funds. Then they get torn between, do I run after an investor or do I scale the business? What do I do now? So, some thoughts around that.
Sure. I think, yeah, the team building, that is why the purposes need to be very clear, right? All the question I ended up asking you that why are you in this? Why you want to scale up? What problem you're solving? What pain point you're solving? You have to tell that story. It has to radiate in you that you have a purpose, not just another startup doing X and Y. You need to build that persona that this company is about solving something interesting, right? When Google started, they said no evil, right? So they said, I'm going to make a dent in the universe. So that was their tagline. We're going to make a dent in the universe. Just some search engine business, right? So you need to build that purpose, that what am I doing? Why am I into this? How am I breathing this business? How it's going to solve X and Y, change lives of people, businesses, saving, all that element, right? But you need to live through that as well. It is not on one PowerPoint presentation you wrote 5 years back, you even forgot. You have to live through that in everyday activity, because as an entrepreneur, you are on the stage, everybody is watching you. That's your culture that you're building. Your action is the culture. You cannot say that, for me different, everyone else is different. A startup CEO, I call chief everything officer, right? So you ended up doing many of those. So that's kind of the culture that you're building. So when I ran my IT company, even I've told my guys that the chair should not be different, right? What the chair you're buying for everybody, I want to use the same chair. I said, I don't want my parking separate. I have my driver, his job is to find a parking lot. Don't waste another $1,400 paying to eBay. So when I do this thing, none of my senior management will ask for it. No, it become my life be easier. So that's the culture. Culture means that you have to live through that. And you are on test on every day. You make one mistake, your culture is gone. Right? Or you told that way and you've done this. So you are the one, they are coming to you. That the purpose you are on it, and how diligently you are solving this problem X and Y and working towards. Then you are able to attract a certain group of people that they're going just beyond, writing Java code, right? So why look at today, I always say that in IIM Bangalore, we have professor working last 40-45 years, no attrition. But why Infosys has 15% attrition, best paid company, right? BMTC, it's not a best paid organization. Does BMTC driver have an attrition? Then why there is an attrition in Infosys? 15-20%. In BPO industry is 50%, right? So this is where that you have to start looking at this, that what is this purpose that you are building, and can you attract? Because today I think I'm very impressed that a lot of people are going beyond money part alone, right? Money part, I'll come to that later. But this is what you should attract. Sahas, we're building waste management thing, right? We have, some very good college, I think Bits Pilani or somebody, that they got a job in Ola, and we also offered him a job. He joined us. And he says that, I love this purpose and I'm going to learn something completely new rather than sitting in some Java code. Yeah. So that purpose is number one, and there is enough talent available in pandemic to hire and work on it. The third is about people are coming to you for a purpose. They are taking a pay cut. They're willing to go the extra mile for whatever it is. You got to recognize them. The only one thing you have is your stock options. So be liberal and taking care of people who are good, right? Who are believing in you, who are with you. So if at all there is an upside in the company, he is with you, he is growing with you. right? So this is what that you have to do. The team building is about how well you are able to find the pain point of the problem of a customer. You are able to make the customer happy. Similarly, you have to ensure that your employees are also being treated that well. You have amazing culture in this place, and create innovative culture. Have people talk about it. People talk about the open door policy. I think today, look at all the workspaces. There is no door. Everybody is sitting and working on it. But when you scale, will you start hiding behind some doors? So when I ran my company, I said, if I'm not in my office, my room can be used as a conference room. Anybody can go sit and have calls, right? So this is where you're creating this belongingness in people. It's what I call as intrapreneurial culture, right? Everyone in your company should feel this is my company. So that's where you have people will make mistake, and it's okay to make mistake once. But are you learning? And encourage a thing that bad news coming to you first. Right? Every startup I meet, in my portfolio, I tell them that tell me what is the bad news, because good news I know from your social media. Right? Any good news, you'll start bragging in your social media. Nobody will put your bad news. Oh, I lost this customer, feeling awesome. Right? Nobody's going to put it. So this is where you need to create the culture that people are open and telling you the problems. If you know the problems they're bringing to you off the battle, and if they're being punished giving you problems, then they're not going to tell you. Then by the problem is big, it's going to take more effort and money for you to solve it. Yeah. So this culture part is very, very, very important for you to look at. The culture starts from you. You cannot put an employee handbook and print out and give it to people. You are the culture of the company, right? Look at, many of the very successful entrepreneurs. They built amazing thing about them, right? Working for him was the thing. How Steve Jobs has created that persona, right? How many of these guys have created that. So we need to build that part of it. So the other part is about the hire and fire model, right? The moment you have the firing happens, culture is gone. So why am I loyal to this guy? So this is also, the more you are involving them and they feel that, okay, I've seen a startup that it struggled, they have to let people go. But still they got amazing, feedback on the Glassdoor, right? Because they all felt that, there is a belonging. When the moment the company started doing better, some of them come back. So would you have that? And the customers is amazing other part that you can leverage, who could become working for you as well. Right? One of my startup that it's not a typical VC funded thing. So he wanted to scale, and he runs an organic store, Lumiere Organic. He called 25 of his customers. He said, I want to, scale. And they each gave him 5 lakhs. He raised 1 crore. Can your customer invest in your company? I mean, they like you that much. So then you have quite a lot of access from your customer as well, who understand your product, them becoming ambassadors. It's going to be creating a fantastic culture as well. Yeah. Okay, great.
Thanks so much, Naga. Thank you very much.
All the best. Take care, guys. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thanks a lot.
Bye. Yeah.
Hey, Rahul, are you here? Mr. Rahul is not there. Only his log. He's logged in and vanished. Where did Maddie disappear? Ramya?
That was a great session, Anjali. Really. I mean, without a PPT, it was like an hour and a half. Could just.
You're breaking.